Shania Twain.
Shania Twain, OC, is a Canadian country pop singer-songwriter. Her 1995 album The Woman in Me brought her fame, and her 1997 album Come On Over became the best-selling studio album of all time by a female act in any genre and the best-selling country album of all time, selling over 40 million copies worldwide. Her fourth and last studio album to date, Up, was released in November 2002 and has sold more than 20 million copies worldwide. Twain has won 5 Grammy Awards and 27 BMI Songwriter Awards. She has had 3 albums certified diamond by the Recording Industry Association of America and is the second best-selling artist in Canada, behind Celine Dion, with 3 of her studio albums certified double diamond by the Canadian Recording Industry Association. She is the first, and currently only, female artist in history to have 3 consecutive albums reach diamond status, certified by the RIAA. Sometimes referred to as the Queen of Country Pop, she is one of the most commercially successful artists of all time, having sold over 80 million albums and is ranked 10th best-selling artist of the Nielsen SoundScan era. She was also ranked 72nd on Billboard's Artists of the Decade, 2010. Most recently, Twain has her own TV series, Why Not?, with Shania Twain, that premiered on The OWN on May 8, 2011. She received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on June 2, 2011.
Early years.
Shania Twain was born Eileen Regina Edwards in Windsor, Ontario, the daughter of Sharon, née Morrison, and Clarence Edwards. Her parents divorced when she was 2 and her mother then moved to Timmins, Ontario with Eileen and her sisters Jill and Carrie Ann. Sharon married Jerry Twain, an Ojibwa, and they had a son together, Mark. Jerry adopted the girls, legally changing their last name to Twain. When Mark was still in diapers, the Twains adopted Jerry's baby nephew, Daryl, after Daryl's mother died. Because of her connection to her stepfather, in the past it has been reported that Twain's ancestry was Ojibwa, however she stated in an interview that her biological father was part Cree. Her ancestry also includes Irish, French-Canadian and English. Through a maternal great-grandmother, she is a descendant of Zochary Cloutier. Her maternal grandmother, Eileen Pierce, emigrated from Newbridge, Kildare, Ireland. Eileen Twain had a hard childhood in Timmins. Her parents earned little and there was often a shortage of food in the household. Eileen did not confide her situation to school authorities, fearing they might break up the family. In the remote, rugged community, she learned to hunt and to chop wood. Sharon and Jerry's marriage was at times stormy, and from a young age, Eileen witnessed violent fights between them. Sharon struggled with bouts of depression. In the summer of 1979, while Jerry was at work, at Eileen's insistence, her mother drove the rest of the family 680 kilometers, 420 miles, south to a Toronto homeless shelter for assistance. Sharon returned to Jerry with the children in 1981. In Timmins, Twain started singing at bars at the age of 8 to try to make ends meet, often earning $20 between midnight and 1 in the morning performing for remaining customers after the bar had finished serving. Although she expressed a dislike for singing in those bars, Twain believes that this was her own kind of performing arts school on the road. She has said of the ordeal, "My deepest passion was music and it helped. There were moments when I thought I hate this. I hated going into bars and being with drunks. But I loved the music and so I survived." Twain wrote her first songs at the age of 10, Is Love a Rose and Just Like the Storybooks, which were fairy tales in rhyme. She states that the art of creating, of actually writing songs, was very different from performing them and became progressively important. At 13, Eileen was invited to perform on CBC Television's The Tommy Hunter Show. While attending Timmins High and Vocational School in Timmins, she was also the singer for a local band called Longshot, which covered the top 40 music. In the early 1980s, Twain spent some time working with her father's reforestation business in northern Ontario, a business that employed some 75 Ojibwa and Cree workers. Although the work was demanding and the pay low, Twain said, "I loved the feeling of being stranded. I'm not afraid of being in my own environment, being physical, working hard. I was very strong, I walked miles and miles every day and carried heavy loads of trees. You can't shampoo, use soap or deodorant, or makeup, nothing with any scent. You have to bathe and rinse your clothes in the lake. It was a very rugged existence, but I was very creative and I would sit alone in the forest with my dog and a guitar and would just write songs."
Career 1983-92, Beginnings.
After graduating from Timmins High in June 1983, Twain was eager to expand her musical horizons. After the demise of the band Longshot, Twain was approached by a cover band led by Diane Chase called Flirt, and they toured all over Ontario. Twain also began taking singing lessons from Toronto-based coach Ian Garrett and would often clean his house in payment for her lessons. In the autumn of 1984, Twain's talents were noticed by Toronto DJ Stan Campbell, who wrote about her in a country music news article. "Eileen possesses a powerful voice with an impressive range. She has the necessary drive, ambition and positive attitude to achieve her goals." Campbell happened to be making an album by Canadian musician, and present-day CKTB radio personality, Tim Dennis, at the time when Twain was featured on the backing vocals of the song Heavy on the Sunshine. Campbell later took Twain to Nashville to record some demos, which Twain found particularly difficult to finance. She became acquainted with regional country singer Mary Bailey, who had had some country chart success in 1976. Bailey had seen Twain perform in Sudbury, Ontario, saying, "I saw this little girl up on stage with a guitar and it absolutely blew me away." She performed Willie Nelson's Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, and Hank Williams' I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. Her voice reminded me of Tanya Tucker, it had strength and character, a lot of feeling. She's a star, she deserves an opportunity. Bailey later said she sang a few songs that she had written, and I thought to myself, this kid is like 19 years old, where does she get this? This is from a person who's lived 60 years. Bailey acquired the contract from Stan Campbell and Twain moved into Bailey's home on Kenegami Lake, where she practiced her music every day for hours. In the fall of 1985, Bailey took Twain down to Nashville to stay with a friend, record producer Tony Miglia, who at the time was producing an album for fellow Canadian singer Cleta Haviland, and Twain was featured on the backing vocals to the song Too Hot to Handle. She also demo-ed songs with Cyril Rawson, but the demos were without success, partly due to Twain's wish to become a rock singer, not a country artist. After 5 months she returned to Canada and moved in with Bailey in a flat in downtown Kirkland Lake, not far from Kenegami. There she met rock keyboardist Eric Lambier and drummer Randy Yurko and formed a new band, moving 3 months later to Beaumontville, near Toronto. In late summer 1986, Mary Bailey arranged for Twain to meet John Kim Bell, a half-Mohawk, half-American conductor who had close contacts with the directors of the Canadian Country Music Association. Bell recognized Twain's ability as well as her looks, and the two began secretly dating. In the fall of 1986, Twain continued to express her desire to be a pop or rock singer rather than country, which led to her falling out with Mary Bailey for 2 years. Twain's first break finally came on February 8, 1987, when Bell staged a fundraiser for the National Aboriginal Achievement Foundation at the Roy Thompson Hall in Toronto, where Twain performed with Broadway star Bernadette Peters, jazz guitarist Don Ross, and the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. Her performance received little acclaim, but it convinced Bell, who hated pop music, that Twain should stay well away from it and concentrate on country music. On November 1, 1987, Twain's mother and stepfather died in a car accident approximately 50 kilometers north of Wawa, Ontario. As a result, Twain moved back to Timmins to take care of her younger siblings and then took them all to Huntsville, Ontario. There, she supported them by earning money performing at the nearby Deerhurst Resort.
1993-94, Shania Twain.
A couple of years passed and Twain's siblings got older and moved out on their own. Twain assembled a demo tape of her songs and her Huntsville manager set up a showcase for Twain to present her material to record executives. She caught the attention of a few labels, including Mercury Nashville Records, who signed her within a few months. During this time, she changed her name to Shania, which was said to be an Ojibwe word which means on my way. However, Twain's biographer, Robin Egger, writes, "There is a continuing confusion about what Shania means and if indeed it is an Ojibwe word or phrase at all. There is no mispronounced or misheard phrase in either Ojibwe or Cree that comes close to meaning on my way." Yet the legend of her name continues to be repeated in the media to this day and will doubtless provide the obituary headline when Shania eventually passes on. Twain's self-titled debut album was released in 1993 in North America and garnered her audiences outside Canada. Shortly before its release, she sang backing vocals for other Mercury artists, including Jeff Chance's 1992 album Walk Softly on the Bridges and Sammy Kershaw's 1993 album Haunted Heart. Shania Twain only reached number 67 on the U.S. Country Albums chart, but it gained positive reviews from critics. The album failed to sell significant copies initially, although Twain's future success generated enough interest for the album to be certified platinum 6 years later by the RIAA, denoting sales of over 1 million. The album yielded 2 minor hit singles in the United States with What Made You Say That and Dance with the One That Brought You. The album was more successful in Europe, where Twain won Country Music Television Europe's Rising Video Star of the Year award.
1995-96, The Woman in Me and commercial success.
When rock producer Robert Mutt Lange heard Twain's original songs and singing from her debut album, he offered to produce and write songs with her. After many telephone conversations, they met at Nashville's Fanfare in June 1993. Twain and Lange became very close within just weeks, culminating in their wedding on December 28, 1993. Lange and Twain either wrote or co-wrote the songs that would form her second studio album, The Woman in Me. Record executives were stunned when they listened to the album. It was unlike anything else in country music. The Woman in Me was released in the spring of 1995. The album's first single, Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under?, went to number 11 on the Billboard Country chart. This was followed by her first country top 10 and number 1 hit single, Any Man of Mine, which also cracked the top 40 on the Billboard Hot 100. Twain had further hits from the album, including the title track which peaked at number 14 and 3 additional number 1 hits, If You're Not In It For Love, I'm Outta Here, You Win My Love, and No One Needs to Know, which was selected for the original soundtrack for the 1996 film Twister, a first for Twain, plus minor country hit Home Ain't Where His Heart Is, Anymore, and a re-recorded gospel version of the album track God Bless the Child with new lyrics. Meanwhile in Australia, 5 of these singles, Any Man of Mine, The Woman in Me, I'm Outta Here, You Win My Love, and God Bless the Child, were remixed for the Australian pop market, and I'm Outta Here became Twain's breakthrough hit there, reaching number 5 on the ARIA charts. As of 2007, the album had sold more than 12 million copies. The album was a quick breakthrough and because of this Twain performed selected international venues and television shows including 2 CMA Fanfare performances with Nashville guitarists Randy Thomas, co-writer of the song Butterfly Kisses, Dan Schaefer, Chris Rodriguez, Rust Half, Hugh McDonald bass player of Bon Jovi, Dave Malachowski and Stanley T., formerly with the Beach Boys. Mercury Nashville's promotion of the album was based largely upon a series of music videos. During this period, Twain made major television appearances on shows such as 2 performances on Late Show with David Letterman, Blockbuster Music Awards, Billboard Music Awards and the American Music Awards. The Woman in Me won the Grammy Award for Best Country Album as well as the Academy of Country Music Award for Album of the Year. The latter group also awarded Twain as Best New Female Vocalist.
1997-2001, Come On Over and international pop breakthrough.
In 1997, Twain released her follow-up album, Come On Over. This was the album that would establish her as a successful crossover singer. Slowly, Following the release of lead singles Love Gets Me Every Time, and Don't Be Stupid, You Know I Love You, which allowed Twain to make more appearances in the Billboard Hot 100, the album started racking up sales. It never hit the top spot, but with the multi-chart hit single You're Still the One, sales skyrocketed. Other songs like, When, Honey, I'm Home, You've Got Away, Man, I Feel Like a Woman, That Don't Impress Me Much, and From This Moment On joined the 12 songs that eventually saw release as singles. From This Moment On is a duet with singer Brian White, and there was a re-recorded solo pop version as well. The album stayed on the charts for the next 2 years, going on to sell 40 million copies worldwide, making it the biggest-selling album of all time by a female musician. It is also the 8th biggest-selling album by any type of artist in the US and the top-selling country album in history. Songs from the album won 4 Grammy Awards during this time, including Best Country Song and Best Female Country Performance, for You're Still the One, and Man, I Feel Like a Woman. For Twain, Lang won Grammys for You're Still the One, and Come On Over. Despite the album's record sales, it wasn't able to top the Billboard 200, peaking at number 2. In 1998, following the pop release of You're Still the One, the Come On Over album was released in a remixed format for the European market as a pop album with less country instrumentation, and actually gave her the big breakthrough in Europe she and her producer husband, Robert John McLang, were looking for. Come On Over went to number 1 on the UK album charts for 11 weeks. It became the biggest-selling album of the year in Great Britain and a bestseller in other big European markets as well, selling more than 1 million copies in Germany and nearly 4 million in the UK alone. Although You're Still the One, and the pop version of From This Moment On cracked the top 10 of the UK charts and, when had minor success in the top 20, the songs that had finally drawn European attention to the album were the pop remix singles That Don't Impress Me Much, a number 3 in the UK and top 10 hit in Germany in the summer of 1999, and Man, I Feel Like a Woman, which peaked at number 3 in both the UK and France in autumn of that year. Additionally, You've Got Away was remixed specifically for inclusion on the Notting Hill soundtrack. Subsequently, a reissue of the international version of the album was released worldwide, including the US and Europe, containing 3 of these new remixes. Additionally, the album set the record for the longest ever stay in the top 20 of the Billboard 200, remaining in the top 20 for 99 weeks. In 1998, Twain launched her first major concert tour, aided by her manager John Landau, a veteran of many large-scale tours with Bruce Springsteen. The Come On Over tour shows was a success and won the Country Tour of the Year in 1998 and 1999 by Pollstar Concert Industry Awards. In 2000, Twain was initially scheduled to release a Christmas album, but plans to release one were cancelled later in the year. Following the success of Come On Over, independent label Limelight Records released the complete Limelight Sessions in October 2001. The album includes 16 tracks recorded in the late 1980s before Twain signed her record deal with Mercury.
2002-04, Up.
After a change in management, QPRIME replaced Landau, and a 2-year break, along with the birth of their son, Asia, pronounced Asia D'Angelo, who was born on August 12, 2001, Twain and Lang returned to the studio. Up was released on November 19, 2002. About a year later, Twain kicked off the Up tour in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada on September 25, 2003. Up was released with 3 different discs: Country Acoustic, Green CD, Pop Rock, Red CD, and World Dance, Blue CD. Up was given 4 out of 5 stars by Rolling Stone magazine, and debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Albums chart, selling 874,000 in the first week alone. It remained at the top of the charts for 5 weeks. Up reached number 1 in Germany, number 2 in Australia and the top 5 in the UK and France. In Germany, Up was certified 4x Platinum and stayed in the top 100 for 1.5 years. The international music disc was remixed with Indian-style orchestral and percussion parts recorded in Mumbai, India. The new versions were produced by Simon and Diamond Dougal, brothers from Birmingham, England. They were originally invited to contribute parts to the pop version of I'm Gonna Getcha Good, which retained the Indian influence. Twain's popularity in UK was reflected by numerous appearances on the long-running music show Top of the Pops, performing singles from Come On Over from 1999. In 2002 an entire special show was dedicated to her on sister show TOTP2, in which Twain herself introduced some past performances of her greatest hits and new singles from Up. The first single from the album, I'm Gonna Getcha Good, became a top 10 country hit in the US, after debuting at number 24 after only 5 days of airplay. But only made the top 40 on the pop charts. It was a much bigger hit on the other side of the Atlantic, released in a pop version, the single hit number 4 in the UK. In Australia, Germany and France the song reached the top 15 in each case. The follow-up single, Up, reached the top 15 in the US country charts but failed to reach the pop top 40. The second European single became the mid-tempo song Ka Ching, which was never released as a single in North America, with lyrics where Twain was criticizing unchecked consumerism. The song eventually became another smash hit in the important European markets, reaching number 1 in Germany and Austria and other European countries, the UK top 10 and the top 15 in France. The third single from the album would be the most successful in the US. The romantic ballad Forever and For Always was released as a single in April 2003 and peaked at number 4 on the country chart and number 1 on the adult contemporary chart, and made as well the Billboard Top 20. Again, success was even bigger on the other side of the Atlantic, with Forever and For Always again reaching the top 10 in both the UK and Germany. Further singles were She's Not Just a Pretty Face, which was a country top 10 hit, while the last US single, It Only Hurts When I'm Breathing, made the top 20 on both country and AC. Due to the enormous European success of Up and its first 3 singles, 2 more singles were released in the second half of 2003, with Up-Tempo Thank You Baby, number 11 in the UK, top 20 in Germany, and Just Before Christmas the romantic, acoustic ballad, When You Kiss Me, at least a minor hit in both territories. The title track Up also saw a single release in a limited edition of European countries, such as Germany, in early 2004. In January 2008, Up had sold 5.5 million copies in the US and was certified by the RIAA as 11x Platinum. The organization counts double albums as 2 units.
2004-10, Greatest Hits and Delay of New Album.
In 2004, she released the Greatest Hits album, with 3 new tracks. As of 2012, it had sold over 4.15 million copies in the US. The first single, the multi-format duet Party for Two, made the country top 10 with Billy Currington, while the pop version with Sugar Ray lead singer Mark McGrath made top 10 in the United Kingdom and Germany. The follow-up singles, Don't and I Ain't No Quitter, did not fare as well. The former made top 20 on adult contemporary, while the latter did not gain enough airplay to crack the country top 40. In August 2005, she released the single Shoes from the Desperate Housewives soundtrack. In June 2009, Twain released a letter to her fans explaining the delays in the release of her next album. In August 2009, at a conference in Timmins, Ontario, a spokesman for Twain's label said a new record from the singer is still nowhere in sight.
2011-present, Return to Music and New Album.
In May 2011, Twain confirmed in an interview with Perez Hilton that she will release her first new single in 6 years, Today Is Your Day, after the finale of Why Not? With Shania Twain. Twain previewed the song in the first episode of the series. Twain worked with music producers David Foster and Nathan Chapman in the new song. In the next few months, Twain plans to return to the studio to finish her 5th studio album. Today Is Your Day was officially released to iTunes and country radio on June 12, 2011. On June 8, 2011, at a press conference at the Country Music Hall of Fame in Nashville, Twain announced that she will headline Caesars Palace in Las Vegas for 2 years. Her show, titled Still the One, began on December 1, 2012 with shows expected to run in 2013 and 2014. In July 2013, Twain announced on Facebook that she is working on her album over the summer during a break from Still the One. This will be her 5th studio album and first in 12 years. In October 2013, Twain sat down with Robin Roberts from Good Morning America as a featured artist on the countdown to the CMA Awards. In the interview, Twain insisted a new album was coming, but she was still in the process to find the right producer. Outside of her show at Caesars Palace, Twain will perform 2 concerts at the Calgary Stampede in Calgary, Alberta on July 9 and 10, 2014. Alongside her Calgary Stampede shows, Shania is also the headliner for a show on Labor Day weekend at Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, Canada.
TV career.
Twain's mainstream pop acceptance was further helped by her appearance in the 1998 first edition of the VH1 Divas concert where she sang alongside Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, Gloria Estefan and Aretha Franklin, and also by VH1's 1999 heavily aired Behind the Music, which concentrated on the tragic aspects of her early life as well as her physical attractiveness and Nashville's early resistance to her bare midriff music videos. After Divas, Shania Twain wrote and/or sang background vocals with her then-husband Robert John McLang the songs, If Walls Could Talk, and Goodbyes, The Saddest Word, for Celine Dion. On November 12, 2008 Twain made her first television appearance since her split from ex-husband Robert McLang, where she appeared as a surprise presenter at the 42nd CMA Awards. On August 17, 2009, EW announced that Twain would be a guest judge on American Idol in Chicago, for the show's August 30 and 31st episodes. In April 2010, Twain announced plans for her own TV show, titled Why Not? With Shania Twain. The show debuted on May 8, 2011 on OWN. Twain returned to American Idol as a guest mentor for a week where the top 6 contestants showcased her songs. After the conclusion of the 9th season Twain was very close to becoming a judge but ultimately it was Jennifer Lopez who got the job.
Other contributions.
In 2003, Twain participated in the Dolly Parton tribute album Just Because I'm a Woman, covering Parton's classic Coat of Many Colors, with backing vocals by Alison Krauss. The cover peaked at number 57 on the Hot Country Songs charts as an album cut. During the Super Bowl XXXVII halftime show Twain performed 2 songs, Man, I Feel Like a Woman, and Up. Twain joined Canadian singer Anne Murray on the song You Needed Me on Murray's Anne Murray Duets, Friends and Legends album released November 13, 2007 in Canada, and on January 15, 2008 in the US. In July 2011, fellow Canadian superstar Michael Bublé confirmed in a live video chat with fans that he recorded a duet of White Christmas with Twain for his 2011 Christmas album. On February 7, 2012, Lionel Richie's single Endless Love featuring Shania Twain was released to digital retailers. The single is the first single from Lionel's Tuskegee album released on March 27, 2012. Endless Love has been released to radio on the adult contemporary charts. A music video, directed by Paul Boyd, was released to country music channels CMT and GAC in March 2012.
Endorsements.
Twain's commercial ventures outside the music industry included a series of cosmetic ads in 1999 based on Man, I Feel Like a Woman, for Revlon. She also starred in ads for Candice Shoes and Chitano Jeans, who also sponsored her 1998 to 1999 Come On Over tour. In January 2005, Twain joined Scentstras by Febres to create a limited edition scent disc with the proceeds going to America's Second Harvest. Late in 2005, Twain partnered COTY to produce her namesake fragrance Shania by Stetson. A second fragrance was released in September 2007, called Shania Starlight. On January 1, 2010, Twain carried the Olympic torch through her hometown as part of the 2010 Winter Olympics torch relay.
Personal life.
Twain met producer Robert Mutt Lange after he heard her original songs and singing from her debut album. He then offered to produce and write songs with her. They first met at Nashville's Fan Fair in June 1993 and quickly became close. They were married on December 28, 1993, and Twain gave birth to their son Isha, pronounced Asia, in August 2001. On May 15, 2008, a spokesperson for Mercury Nashville announced that Twain and Lange were separating after Lange allegedly had an affair with Twain's best friend, Marie-Anne Thibord. Their divorce was finalized on June 9, 2010. On December 20, 2010, Twain's manager confirmed that Twain was engaged to Frederick Thibord, the Swiss ex-husband of her former best friend, an executive at Nestlé. They married on January 1, 2011 in Rincon, Puerto Rico. In 2009, Twain was rated as having the perfect face by scientists. The study, led by the University of Toronto and the University of California, San Diego, appears in the journal Vision Research. The results suggest her face has a perfect set of geometric measurements, based on the Golden Ratio. In September 2010, it was confirmed that Twain was to release her autobiography, From This Moment On May 3, 2011, and the cover work for the book was released on March 2, 2011. Twain is a devotee of an Eastern spiritual philosophy called Sant Mat, which calls for daily meditation as well as abstinence from alcohol, drugs and premarital sex.
Vegetarianism.
Twain is a longtime vegetarian and in 2001, was voted PETA's first sexiest vegetarian alive. She started completely abstaining from meat after she married Lange in 1993. She cites moral reasons for her diet, saying,
Awards and honors.
In addition to her various awards for her singles and albums, Twain has received a number of personal honors. She was named the 1999 Entertainer of the Year by both the Academy of Country Music and the Country Music Association. Twain was the first non-U.S. citizen to win the CMA Award. Twain was ranked number 7 in Country Music Television's 40 Greatest Women of Country Music in 2002. In 2003, Twain was inducted into Canada's Walk of Fame. The city of Timmins, Ontario, renamed a street for her, gave her the key to the city, and built the Shania Twain Centre in her honor. On November 18, 2005, Twain was invested as an officer in the Order of Canada. Twain was inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame at the Juno Awards on March 27, 2011. On June 2, 2011, Twain received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Her star is the 2,442nd star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in the category of recording.
Discography.
Shania Twain, 1993, The Woman in Me, 1995, Come On Over, 1997. Up. 2002, The Complete Limelight Sessions, 2001.
Tours and residency shows.
Come On Over Tour, 1998 to 1999, Up. Tour, 2003 to 2004, Shania, Still the One, 2012 to 20